Ladies and gentlemen, we are commencing the June 17th meeting of the City of Ojai Arts Commission, and we will start with a roll call any minute now.
James is wearing too many hats.
That's right.
Poor guy.
Did you get an agenda?
Yeah, that's right. Commissioner Zaringer,
Here.
Commissioner Toscher,
Here.
Commissioner Golden,
Here.
Commissioner Harmon,
Here.
and Chair Addison.
Here. Okay, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Sammy, would you like to lead us in this tonight in your Hebridean accent?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hebridean American accent. I'm a citizen. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the United States of
Of the
America.
United States of America.
That's what I said.
And
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll move on to public comment, and we have one member of the public with us. Is there anything you would like to add to our discussion? Then we'll continue to the discussion and action items, and I beg your pardon? He's from Capri. Yes. Yes.
May I ask that the agenda item for this be moved up since we have a guest?
By all means, let's move immediately to item number C, which is the Capri Hotel project. And Christine, if you would lead the discussion
Yes, I
on this,
would.
please.
Jonathan, the speaker stand is turned around, but
Turn it around towards us. There you go.
beautiful. Okay, so the Capri Motel is undergoing an extensive renovation, and they qualified for public art. You have inside your agenda a packet that gives you the information on how much that qualification was. I believe it was close to $30,000, something like
Yes.
that. You can all look at that. And we have here one of the two individuals that James and I met with a few weeks ago. They worked with Cindy Frings on what they were going to do, and they came up with a three-pronged approach for the lobby and just outside the lobby. And this is Jonathan.
Hi.
And Jonathan, would you like to tell us in brief what the three components are?
So the three components are one painter who masters acrylic and oil based paintings. And the setup is we're going to have 30 paintings in each room and then one big masterpiece in the lobby for display for the public. Then we have one sculpturist who makes lighting, and it's the same setup there where we'll have every single room will have its own set of lights, and then we'll have a master chandelier in the lobby. And then we also added Fanny Penny, a local artist who is mastering in ceramics and clay, and she will make these clay pieces into the entrance of the lobby and on the pathway beside the lobby.
Thank you. And we'll entertain anyone who has any questions. The Kappa met, and we asked questions, and we were all very satisfied, and we will be recommending to the rest of you that we approve this project so that it can go forward. They're very anxious not to be delayed, and we felt that they had met all the requirements of the ordinance, and that this project fit in nicely to the kind of renovation they're doing, which is really looking at the late 50s, early 60s style, kind of a retro look for the Capri Motel. Does anyone have any questions?
Looks great.
It's a very compelling project. It's beautiful work, and it is indeed genuinely public art with the entrance and the chandelier and the painting, and then wonderful that the artist who did the painting is her work, and the artist who did the chandelier that will be furthered in the rooms itself. So it's a wonderful blending of public and private. So I move that we accept the recommendation from Kappa.
And we have a second for that?
I second. I had a question.
Oh, sure.
It's just a point of information that the Shelter Club, is that the same people that did Rancho? Okay.
Yes,
That's what
it
I
is.
thought, but I wasn't sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That was just all I
And it's the
wanted.
same owner as well. Kenny, and I don't remember Kenny's last name.
Osahan.
Yeah, and she came to the Kappa meeting. She's quite delightful and very, very involved in making sure that she promotes art in her 2 locations here in Ojai.
Yep.
And as Michael was pointing out, so there's such cohesiveness to this project because it's not just that they're plunking down art; it's reflected in the rooms as well.
Yeah.
So
Great.
it will be very exciting to see this when it's finished. Do you have an idea of timeline on that?
Well, it was supposed to be January, and here we are. So it's my job to push it forward. I'm kind of hoping October.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. We'll look for it around the holidays. Because that's how these things go. But,
Exactly.
you know,
We're looking forward to having you
and we
guys.
always work with you on that. And then once it's installed, the Kappa comes and takes a look and verifies that you have done what you've set out to do. And we like if you throw a party for us, but you don't have to. Just kidding.
That's
Anyway,
in the making.
we've made a
Bellinis.
motion, and I think we had a second.
Any further
other-
discussion?
Yeah.
Any
So
further discussion?
Can we do
We could do a roll call, sure.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Commissioner Zaringer,
Aye.
Commissioner Golden,
aye?
Commissioner Tosher,
Yes?
Commissioner Harmon,
Yes.
and Chair Addison.
Yes,
Okay. Congratulations, and thank
you
you
very
for
much.
coming.
Thank you.
thanks for your work.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's move on to item number A, which is the Arts Grant Committee. Marcy, what do you have to report to us,
I have, everyone has a copy of the timeline
right?
for this year, so the first, you should have it, looks like this, probably on,
We'll share it.
there it is.
You have it, okay.
So July 15th is the key date where we're going to have applications available on the website, and our website, and the city's website, and Facebook, and all of that, so this is really an important timeline for you too, Sammy, so that you can get the PR gears going.
I have a question. As far as the application forms, do I put them up or is somebody else going to put them up? Because on the website to make them live.
On the
Our website.
arts website,
Yes.
I believe that Luis forwarded the documents to you.
Yes.
I think they're PDFs or whatever.
I can.
You can post those, can't you post those?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, well, let's work out the
I'll
details
start
work out the
outside the
I'll
meeting,
start
yeah.
early. Yeah.
But just jot down that date.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it. Yeah.
And other than that,
Okay, so it's moving forward.
yeah, moving
And
forward.
very well organized, thank you for that.
Sure.
Okay, let's move on to item B, which is Public Art Committee
Okay.
on Public Art Projects. Christine?
All right, so Marcy, do you want to have an update for everybody on the fence, the trim and fence, or is that as is? Is there any news, anything
We're
new?
waiting towards well, you've probably noticed that the existing chain link fence, that's all down. And the trim and arch looks fantastic without that chain link fence attached to it. And at the music festival, it looked stunning when it was lit. It looks like a
Piece of
piece
art.
of sculpture,
Which it was
which it
meant
was
to be.
intended
Yeah.
to be. So that's moving along, and I believe the city has ordered posts that are going to go in with a rope at the end of June.
Yeah, we're trying to get them sooner rather than later, but we're expecting it still in June. So,
And the next venue, I believe, is the Lavender Festival this weekend, so we'll be looking to do the setup according to what we call the Grant Vega, like the Mason-Dixon line. We call it the Grant Vega line.
yeah, all project our facility users at this point have been informed of that line. I really want to get the posts in because I think until those posts in, it's going to be a struggle to
a
keep
little bit of a
people
struggle.
Yeah.
remembering where the line is. But so we're working on it.
So we're willing to overlook that, but I think, so far, so good, everyone.
So far, so good. Yeah, and I just will let you know that I've been working so hard writing the tour sections that I've come across more information on the Trimpan Arch that I'll be sharing with you. But let's move on to utility boxes, because I know Marcy has news about utility boxes.
Okay, so city identified for us the owners of the utility boxes that we identified as ones that were potential boxes to be painted and part of public art. Unfortunately, all of them were owned by either Caltrans, Edison, who else, James?
Is there SoCal? I think there was a SoCal Gas one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the bottom line is, then we heard from Ventura, who has, they've painted utility boxes, that those
Owners.
yeah, did not give them permission to paint their boxes. So the city of Ventura painted city-owned boxes, but were not able to get permission from those utilities that owned the boxes. So I need to follow up and find out if there are any city-owned utility boxes in Ojai. And where are they?
So there we are.
So there we are. And basically what this means is we could be coming back to all of you with different boxes than we looked at the first time, or no boxes, or one box, or two boxes. So we'll just keep you informed and let you know what's going on. But we have 2 public art projects that we have voted on formally and adopted. One of them is the Playhouse wall, which is shelved, waiting for the Playhouse to have a new owner. So that's on the shelf. And now it looks like utility boxes could also go that way. But that's okay, because there's no rush here. The commitment has been made to do something with the Public Art Fund money, and I think that's what's so important, is that we are actively seeking to fulfill our obligation to do public art with that money.
It might be advisable to consider a meeting of the Public Art Committee to discuss alternative projects, given that both of those are on the shelf.
Well, let's wait and see what happens with utility boxes before we do that,
Okay.
'cause, I'd rather go one step at a time. We're not in a timeline rush.
Okay.
Okay. I also would like to tell all of you that I've been working with the ad hoc committee, and particularly right now with Sammy on the public art tour. We have a layout for a brochure, which is looking pretty good. We have a little surprise for the front cover. We're going to try to see if we can get Sergio to do his cartooning kind of art of public art pieces for the cover of that, just like he did for a recent edition of the Ojai Quarterly of downtown Ojai. So we're hoping that if we approach him, that he'd be willing to do that.
That would be great.
We have enough room, it turns out. I didn't think this was true, but it turns out there's enough room in the layout to actually sell spots for advertisers. So that is the best way
That's good.
to raise
Sure.
the money.
Sure.
We've talked about things like how much we would charge if a tour was guided, how much we would charge for a pamphlet, things like that. They're still all being discussed, and we'll come back here for your approval eventually. Right now, there are 3 tours. There's the main tour, which we call the Downtown Ojai Tour. And then we have like sidecar tours that we're not going to dose and train, but we're going to spell them out in the brochure. And one is called the East City Tour, and one is called the West City Tour. And it covers things like Topa Mountain and Rotary and Ojai Valley Inn and Spa. And the other one, obviously, is Bryan Street and places like that. So it's coming together. We're working on that really full-time. Last thing is, in addition to meeting with Capri for their proposal, we also had a van tour. James Vega drove the city van and took us around to 3 projects that are now completed. They do not come back here for your approval. It's just that the Committee to Approve Public Art takes a look to make sure they've done what they said they were going to do. So first we went to the inn And we talked to Alex Kim about adding lighting to the table and not having lanterns on the table, about having the story of the table written in Spanish at some point somewhere for the many, many employees who only speak Spanish, and he's very agreeable to all of that, and we have a process to follow up on that. Then we went and saw the museum gates that now open and close very smoothly. Doug Lochner did a fabulous job of engineering the issues with that side gate, which was so difficult to open, and he just did a spectacular job with that. And is now, I'm assuming, he has gotten or will be getting his final check. And then the last one was to look at Sane Living Center, and I wish we had it here to show you. They had the most wonderful video showing the installation running inside the hall, and put out quite a spread for the public to come and take a look. There were probably about 40 people there at the maximum point, and then there were speakers, and we got up, and Johnny Johnson came and spoke, and it was really quite lovely. And I would encourage all of you that when we have a public art opening, that you put that on your calendar, and if you're in town, and make it a priority, because it's good to see, for them to see all the arts commissioners at these events. And went really well. That's it. Any questions from anybody?
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. More good work from the Public Art Committee. Powerhouse. Okay, let's go on to the Artist Mentor Program, and I want to start by saying that Sammy Zaringer has grabbed a hold of that program and made it fly. Yeah. So, over to you, Sammy.
Well, I'm very excited about this program. It's wonderful. It's kind of what we did here tonight earlier on. It's supporting young artists in the Ojai Valley, or from the Ojai Valley, and they're off and running. So we had 12 applicants this year, same as last year.
Student applicants, that is.
Student applicants,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, student applicants, and they're paired up, and we haven't got together because everybody's schedules are, bonkers. So we haven't got together yet to have an official photo, but we're working on that in the next couple of weeks, and they're all aware what the parameters of the program are, that they have to provide a journal of their experiences. And it's such a simple program. It's so easy. It's so easy to do, and it gleans so much. I'm very excited about the program, and I think it's going to do well this year.
And we'll see the end result when we have the exhibit at the end of the summer.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for all the work that you put in.
Well, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
It's a primo program.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the City Gallery Committee. Marcy?
Well, we just had a wonderful reception for Ojai Studio Artists scholarship students, and it was really wonderful to see all of the talent, the young talent in the valley. Some of the students got scholarships, even though they've completed 1 year or 2 years of college. And one of the speakers said that I thought was really striking, where he has only been in Ojai for 4 years, but is from back east, and said he's never seen a city like Ojai that's so supportive of the arts all the way through, from the youngest people around all the way through seasoned artists. And it's just wonderful to be immersed in this very artistic city.
That was Stephen Edwards, the
Stephen,
glass
okay.
glass artist.
Glass
Yeah.
artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was great, and this scholarship show will be up through the end of August, and then our mentor show will
Excellent.
be installed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we go forward. It's a great relationship that we have with OSA. That really,
Yeah.
the fact that we have that relationship and the relationship with the museum, I think, is really a way that enhances what we're doing and what they're doing.
Yeah. Everyone's a winner.
Okay, public relations, Ms. Zaringer, back to you again.
Public relations, what have we been doing? So for tonight's celebration or scholarship awards, yes, I had just been passed a note. So future plans for the Public Relations Committee are publicity for the farmhouse table and benches, the museum gates, and the Sane Living Centre. All of that will happen in the paper in coming weeks. The paper is right now. I've been talking a lot to the the people in charge of the paper, Marianne and Laura, and what they're trying to do is reach a threshold so that they can get back to 20 pages a
Wow.
week. They're right now at 16, and at 16 they're limited to what they can include, and so things I contribute.
Would you like me to talk to the owner?
Bob Daddy? Is it Bob Daddy?
Because
You know,
they used to accommodate us in the arts section, and before that, and we had a whole half page that they gave us, and I can find out what's going on with that
I
if
think
you'd
it
like
has
me
everything
to.
to do with their advertising revenue. It's their bottom
is-
line. If they can increase their advertising
No,
revenue,
what
then
they're
they'll have more
doing, they're
space.
doing art section on all kinds of things, and that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's not even in Ojai. So I think if you want me to, I'll
Again,
talk
it's
to Bob about
advertising.
that.
They get
No,
advertising.
not from
Yes,
what I'm
it is.
talking about.
They do,
The reason that they have those big articles about Santa Barbara events is because they get big advertising. It's very simple. The same thing is true in the entire newspaper industry. So that's
It's
not
kind of
gonna
pay
change.
to play. I've spoken about this to Laura quite a lot, and this is, I mean, it's a small town paper struggling to hold on, and
Yeah.
All over the
they
country.
Nationwide.
Yes.
they need revenue is what
Yeah.
they need. So there's any amount of content out of a city like Ojai. We have all kinds of content that we can put in the paper, but they are limited by their room, and they need to have so much for advertising.
Sure.
And so if anybody wants to particularly have their agenda pushed or their articles pushed, it's often a pay-to-play. And I can see that, and it's understandable. And but they're doing their best to make this a 20-page publication now, and with that comes more scope and a little, 200 or 300 more words per article, something like that, which makes a difference.
Yes.
It makes a big difference to how well you can promote a thing. So it's. I think I have a fairly good relationship with them, and we're clear about what the parameters are for them and for us and for different things. So I think it's workable for the moment.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I
They're
ha-
trying to
can I-
expand it.
Can I, s-
Yeah,
can I
Linda?
add to what Sammy's saying? I found that they've been very helpful in promoting a lot of events in Ojai, and a lot of them are nonprofits, and a lot of them don't buy ads, and
Yeah.
they still put them in. I
Yeah.
think they
They-
do an
yeah.
awfully good job on coverage.
Yeah, they do have a sense of civic responsibility,
do.
which
Yeah.
is
They do.
remarkable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. They really do, and they talk a lot about that. So about what their responsibilities as a community newspaper is. So
And there's no reason in the future we can't talk about, is there any reason we couldn't talk of running an ad
Of
or doing
course we
something
could.
for the
Of
commission?
course we
Yeah,
could.
absolutely.
If we want to have a certain article in there,
Yeah.
buy a half page or whatever we
Yeah,
want to
about an
buy.
exhibit, sure.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
reason
Yeah,
we
because
couldn't do
now-
that, and we could help support them too.
Yeah.
Sure, we agreed on a putative PR budget, didn't we? So I mean that's money well spent as far as I'm concerned.
Like when
Yep.
we bring out the,
What is
Bring out-
what is your PR budget?
we didn't have one
we
till this
didn't
year.
set. We agreed on a putative one, but we didn't
Oh.
agree on a figure. So
Yeah.
So
It-
maybe
it's a
that would be the
hypothetical.
basis for a PR thing. you
It
know.
would
James, you
I
have
still think
something?
it's worth trying not to have to pay anything.
I think in
James?
the budget request to council, I think we included $1,000
Yeah,
as a
we
request.
did.
So
Okay.
at the next
Wow.
meeting, I'll report back on what happens with the budget adoption.
Okay.
Fabulous.
okay.
Great.
How about Ojai monthly and Ojai quarterly?
That's at the the whiff and whim of Brett, and he has the final say on anything that happens within those publications.
But I think if we come up with something sexy and appealing and interesting
Yeah.
and
Well,
pitch that to him, there's
like
a
the public-
possibility at any rate.
Like the public art program is like going gangbusters now.
Yeah,
Yes.
And the tour that's coming up, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of, news.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, there is.
Well,
So, I mean, if we had like a what's new in public art column or something
Yeah.
to run on the first 4 pages,
Mm-hmm.
that would be terrific. We're contemplating right now a theatre beat thing. This could be a public art beat thing. I like that.
That's
a-
nice.
And I think what you're doing, I want to also say that what you're doing on Facebook, I think is really outstanding.
Terrific, yeah.
I mean, I see things all the time that you're posting on there, and I try to share it, remember to share it. But that's the place, too, where articles in full
Yes.
can be posted.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
It's a little looser. The way I look at it is a little looser than the website, because it's a city website. We need to be watchful of what we do promote and stuff. But this is a little more. It's a little more fun. It's a little loosey goosey, and
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
put up information, but we can put up some
Interesting.
interesting art stuff.
Yeah.
Which you've
Yeah.
done, and it's terrific, yeah.
What about the Ojai Hub?
The Ojai Hub. Yeah, I know.
That's Brett's,
that's
that's
the
the
That's
same
also
thing.
Brett,
Brett's
yeah.
there too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, can you not post things at the Ojai Hub?
Oh, we do.
We
yeah.
already
So
do.
that, so that could also go there, too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, gallery openings and things like that are in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's lots of options besides printed,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You're
although
right.
it'd be nice, because they used to do it for us. It'd be nice if they returned to
They
doing
still
it for
do.
us.
They
'Cause
still
we
do
dropped
do
the
it
ball.
for us.
They didn't-
Okay, my friends,
turn
well,
us down.
I hate to say this, but we only have one thing left to discuss, and that's whether we have a meeting in August, and traditionally we have not. So I would recommend that we don't.
Oh,
I don't think we
all in
need
favor.
one in August.
Second the motion.
Okay.
Can we look at the painting too? I don't think we did that
It's
yet.
here, yeah.
It's right
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
I
yes,
brought it
that-
in.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I just wanted to show James,
Fun to see that. up there.
Petrucci.
James Petrucci. So, can you guys see?
It's
it?
amazing.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
So it's beautiful.
Oh.
It's called The Passenger. It's in caustic. It's got caustic in it. It's multimedia.
Did you say it was an acrostic?
It's got caustic in it, yeah.
It's a mysterious and beautiful piece.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah.
And we aren't premature in announcing that he's going to have a show, right?
No,
No, his show will follow the student mentor show.
Fabulous.
It'll be our
Excellent.
last show of the year.
good, good.
And that'll be another article too, probably.
Yeah, yeah,
And Karen, did we do one Karen Lewis already? We did.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
we
we'll
did
need
one.
to
of-
do one
Yeah.
of James.
Yeah.
Okay, August, a motion not to have a meeting?
I moved, or I thought you did, and I seconded it.
No, I discussed it, but then
Oh,
you.
okay,
you
I move that we, as is normal, do not meet in the hot month of August.
Is there a second?
Second,
And I don't think we need a roll call vote, do we? All in
everyone
favor?
smile.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
Motion passed. Let's go on to the staff liaison report.
Yeah, mine are brief today too. The project's subject to public arts. All the updates we've already talked about. One was the Capri, which was on the agenda today for approval. The others are the Ojai Valley Inn farmhouse, the gates, and the Evo 3 at the Sane Center. Those have moved on to being complete. So those were all the updates I had for that today, but I'll take any questions. I guess, are there any questions? Okay. And then for the.
Well, the only question being is, do you think there's anything coming up that we,
Trying to think. Capri was the one that I knew was coming, so I don't think I'm aware of any that that I'd expect to trigger it. I've heard about a project that's gonna be $80,000, 80. I don't remember where it was, but and partly is because it's so far off that I just
okay.
didn't really. put it
And
in my-
can you tell, is there anything new on Cottages Among the Flowers, which is the Becker project that Martha Moran is doing?
Yeah, so Cottages Among the Flowers and Mallory are the two projects done by Becker, and they're kind of in a way connected because they're right next to each other. Those are currently we're working with Becker to try to move those forward. So at this point, we're hoping that those still move forward.
Did they get approval to continue on the same permits, or?
Not at this point.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
so we're working with them to try to move that forward.
Okay. There's an interesting conundrum that comes along with the Mallory Way project that I think everyone could think about, not tonight to talk about it, but maybe at a future time to talk about it. And that is, Martha Moran has been put into a very awkward position because if we look at the number of years, the date at which we approved her as the artist for that project, the ordinance limitation kicks in. And we're not supposed to acquire or have her do another project for 3 years after the project is completed. But she's in a very, I think, this is my opinion, very unfair position because they haven't started that project and it's been almost 3 years already. So she's virtually locked out for much longer than 3 years. So I think it's something that is something that the Public Art Committee, that we can kind of bat around like what a fix for that would be, because it actually would be an ordinance fix to the limitation to indicate when that 3 years starts and when that 3 years, and one person said, which you can all think about, because I kind of like this, was maybe the 3 years starts when the developer pays even a portion of the fee. And then 3 years after that, she's off the hook, whether she's actually done it or not. She was paid on such and such a date, 3 years later, she can now come back in the running. So for example, she could do a utility box or something else, or something at the demonstration garden if we really got our hand involved in that, which is the other thing that, by the way, that we didn't formally vote on, but we talked about perhaps doing something artistic over there as that develops. So
Okay.
Linda, you had an idea?
No, I was just going to say, it makes sense to me when she was originally commissioned would be the date. I don't think it would be when she'd finished it.
Well, the ordinance is when she finishes it.
I know,
That's the
but-
ordinance. So we have to, that's why I'm saying that we have to think about how we can do that fix and make it be not, because this could go on for another 3-4 years
Yeah.
or longer. I don't think that's fair to any artist.
So we'll deal with that as we move
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Just think about it.
Okay, we don't have a council liaison, so we can move to commissioner reports. Sammy, anything to add to the discussion?
I don't think so.
How about you, Christine?
I do not.
How about you, Marcy?
I have a question
Yes.
for you, Michael. How are we moving forward with replacing our 2 vacancies?
Well, I have twice asked James to investigate or to urge the mayor to set up some interviews, and twice nothing has happened. And so the mayor is either fiendishly busy and unable to schedule these things, or he's disinterested, or he is working to pursue his agenda of cutting commission sizes down to 5. I don't know which of those suppositions come into play, but that's where we stand. Nothing has been done, as far as I know, in terms of setting up interviews for the very strong candidates that we have to be on this commission. Now, happily, we've been able to function because we're in the slower period here in the summer, but it has been, I think, extremely unfortunate that we have not had new members that we've had time to integrate into what we're doing. So that's where we stand.
Can I make a suggestion,
Yes,
and maybe
Linda?
I'm crazy? Might we draft a letter to the mayor and all of us sign it and present it on unscheduled events at a city council meeting?
But I email.
I would think it
Or
might
an
be better.
email?
I almost
Think
think
it's
it
a
might
terrific
be
idea.
better.
Maybe we just
At
send
this
an email.
point, I feel like it's getting ignored, and it's not the first time this has happened.
True?
So at the risk of being uppity, I mean,
think it's
e-
uppity
then
at
he can
all. I
either
think
give
it's-
us a
Fight
yay
our
or
corner,
nay. I mean, I think leaving us in limbo like this is not fair.
Would you all like me to draft such a letter and circulate it?
I think an email that you would send that says, I have support of the, and then you can name, or however you want to do it, would be wonderful.
Okay, I
Yeah.
will do that.
All right. And I just want to make one comment, though, because I was corrected in my belief that there was an agenda to move all commissions to 5, and I have been assured by Councilman Wyrick that that is not the case, and that the city council absolutely agrees that there should be 7 members on the Arts Commission. So I don't think it's an agenda thing. I thought the same thing for quite a long while, but I got more information since our last meeting.
But maybe
That's-
the mayor should delegate that responsibility if he can't do this.
You know, I suggested that they each take a turn.
Sure.
The pro tem mayor.
Well, as it is, the way it's structured now, the mayor plus one other city council member, plus the chair of this commission is the interview committee. That could be changed. I mean, if that's an obstacle, that could be changed.
Something needs to happen.
Yeah, well, I will draft something and send it to the mayor, and
Okay.
we'll go from
We
there.
don't need a formal
Okay?
vote on that, huh?
We can't take any formal action because it's not on the agenda, but
Oh,
I think,
Right.
I think Michael can safely say
Yeah.
that the entire commission
We
supports it.
had, we had a discussion, yes.
Okay. And is it my
Okay.
turn for public comments?
Yes, please, your turn.
I didn't put anything on the agenda tonight because I really don't have anything to report, but I thought maybe I should just report that I don't have anything to report on the center behind the hospital. I have not heard from Barbara, so I don't think they're any further along on that,
No, they're
on
not.
the art. But it's still in the works, so when I get a report, I will give one. That was
Okay,
it.
my friends. At 7:18.
It's a wrap.
That's a record.
Wow,
Done.
what? It's the wine, yeah. Yes, yes.
It's the third Thursday, whatever the hell that is.
It makes me crazy.
It makes a lot of people crazy, yeah.
Just
And
for
we
my
may not
own
have a quorum.